All right, good morning, good afternoon, or evening, whichever time you're tuning in from. Welcome to the Truck Around and Find Out podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Byers, and we're joined with Keith Couch with Rush Peterbilt. Today, we're going to get together and talk about some fun topics in trucking and some things in our lives and the trucking community, and some activities that can hopefully help save lives in Colorado. So, Keith, how are you doing today?
Doing good, thank you.
Good. We got an interesting topic today that I am sad to say I know absolutely very little about. Very little. To me, it kind of sounds like the same, but this is going to be the automated versus automatic transmission in trucks. Hopefully, I didn't say that wrong. But
Oh, you're right.
there's a big difference, and I was kind of hoping you could kind of explain some of this to us.
Sure, and this won't be a long podcast, but just to clear up what I kind of deal with day to day is, everybody knows what a manual is.
Yeah,
you've got your
absolutely.
clutch, you've got your manual, and you got to be able to shift. So that's always been your old time truckers. Your diehard guys. Got a lot of guys that say that if you don't have to shift it, you shouldn't be driving. But a few years ago, I looked at a guy's CDL and it was automatic only, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Didn't even know that was a thing. He's like, yeah. I said, I can drive. I just can't drive a manual.
That's about the only part of this that I actually know something about, but on the compliance side of things. But yeah, so I get the manual transmission, and I understand also the automatic, just through the walk of life. But the automated, I just don't quite get that.
So that's the question I get a lot, and guys get a little bit confused, and it's not too technical. Automatic. Let's start with automatic. That's just like your car, your truck. You can hold the accelerator to the floor, and it'll just keep shifting and going faster and faster and faster. It's full power shifts. It just goes because it's got a torque converter in there that absorbs all that, and turns all of that into energy into the prop shaft, into the rear end, and drives your gears and everything else.
Okay.
So when I'm talking to big Class 8 trucks, when you're talking to automatic, 99% of the time we're talking about an Allison automatic transmission.
Okay.
Excuse me. The Allisons, go from that 1000 series all the way up to the 4500, 4700. You've seen a lot of concrete mixers. Maximum input on those is 1,850 pound-feet of torque. So, and maximum horsepower is 565. So the biggest engine I can put in front of the biggest Allison that you can put in a Class 8 truck is a 565, 1850, and you have a full automatic behind that with a torque converter. It only has 6 gears, but it's got a torque converter, so it makes up for a lot of other gears because it multiplies torque. And it handles all your shifts, full power shifts, the whole works. So that's what 99.9% of the people listening are going to be familiar with. Is that's an automatic, just like in your car or pickup.
So, you always, just through like my training, my work with companies, you always get that argue what's better, standard versus automatic. But it really it comes down to the driver. So if there's a preference, I've heard recently that the technology between the automatic transmission has improved greatly. And that there's a lot of companies that really kind of are preferring that. Are you seeing a big difference in like truck sales between manual to the automatic, not getting into the automated side?
We are seeing, just like in the vehicle world, more and more automatics.
Okay.
And more automateds.
Wow. Okay.
So let's define the automated transmission. Now that we've defined the automatic, the automated is just like a manual in the way it's built. It has one difference. It's got they call it an XY shifter that's bolted on there. And I'm oversimplifying this, so if Corey Snowden or some of the other guys are listening, forgive me. But you've got a manual transmission. So probably the biggest automated transmission I sell that I've been the happiest with is the Eaton Endurant 18 XD Pro. 18 is the number of gears. XD Pro is the model. It does a fantastic job. What it is a manual transmission that runs the clutch for you. So there's still a clutch in there.
Okay.
But when you're sitting in the cab, you only have an accelerator and a brake. So it operates just like an automatic. And as far as sitting in the driver's seat, it's an automatic transmission. Technically, it's automated because it's shifting for you. You'll see the RPMs go up, they'll drop, it'll shift, and then your RPMs will come back up.
Okay.
And it's talking to that engine back and forth all the time. It'll skip shift. So it'll go, second. It'll start out in second or third, and then it'll skip to fifth, and then maybe to ninth and stuff. It's all load-based. It's feeling how much pull is on that.
Okay.
And so it'll skip shift. It's done an excellent job. A guy that's going to be in soft dirt or sand or heavy snow, things like that, the Allison still may be the better transmission because it's better. With the full power shifts, those RPMs never drop.
Okay.
So you keep your power up. So if you're in a real soft, loamy dirt or sand, the Allison may still be better. The nice thing about the 18XD Pro is it still does pretty good off-road, does very well off-road, but you get your efficiencies on-road. So you get that direct drive right through. You don't lose anything through the torque converter. The old sayings for the Allisons are the old slush boxes, and they're not that way anymore. They're much better than they used to be. Like you said, the technology's come a long way on those.
Sure.
The guys that do remember the old Eaton Ultra shifts, those had a clutch, but you only had to use the clutch when you were starting out. After that, it shifted itself. But when you came to a stop, you had to throw the clutch in. So it was goofy. It was weird. Backing up was terrible. It would really herky-jerky. And even the new Ultra shifts and everything, if they're not programmed right, it can be dangerous backing up to a dock or something because what they need is, if you don't have any input, you release your brakes and everything. If you have no input, it just sits there. It's not going to do anything until you apply some throttle on the accelerator pedal. And then it wants to kind of jerk a little bit. Well, if you can reprogram those transmissions to what they call urge to move, and that's just simply using the Road Ranger transmission computer and plug into it and have that programmed in. I've had people that say, "Oh, I'll never buy one of those because of that." And it's like, it's just not programmed right. So you can solve 99% of your problems with an Eaton Ultra Shift if it has urge to move programmed into it. So the 18XD Pro can also be flipped to a manual. You can flip it to manual, and then you got paddle shifters, just like a sports car. You got paddle shifters there, so you can keep it. If you're going down Eisenhower Tunnel, whatever, Vale Pass, and you want to keep it in a certain gear and set your jakes at a certain spot, you can just do that and just set it there.
And we're talking about the automated. The automated. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So you can have control, and if you want to control how it shifts, just flip it to manual and run the paddle shifters up and down, and you're shifting it just like a manual.
Okay. So a little bit more driver controlled than a regular automatic, that type of thing. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It takes some time to get used to it. I kind of used to have the thought process that if you can't shift, you shouldn't be driving too. But
makes sense.
After being in several of these 18XD Pros, and they're amazing.
Really? Okay.
It's an amazing transmission.
Great transmission. Wow. So that was one of my questions. I was sitting here listening to you. I was thinking, well, how does this really work in the mountains? So, in a regular automatic transmission, when you start to descend, you come down in there. Since you don't have a shifter, you can't control it. How do you control that regular automatic transmission so it holds back and keeps that compression to keep you from rolling
It'll
too fast?
do that, and you can also, even with the automatic, you can reach over and touch the button and tell it what gear you want to stay in.
Okay. So you can manually control that to help that descent and with the mountain driving.
Because most of the country doesn't have to deal with the mountains like we do.
Sure. So we've got the mountain driving. With the automated transmission, you can manually shift, just no clutching, Don't have to worry about
No.
any of those responsibilities.
button.
Just to hit the button and change it. So sounds like some pretty cool technology overall. Now, what about the CDL restriction side of this? So as you said, you mentioned, it was like back in the day that all we had was regular standards, and then more and more we're seeing more of the automatics. When a driver gets their CDL, they have to test out in a truck with a standard transmission to prove to the testers that they can clutch and they know how to control that vehicle. That's a standard. If they show up and they test and they don't have a truck, like as they do the skills test with an automatic transmission, then they're going to have a restriction to automatic transmissions only. Both of these, the automated and automatic transmission, I'm assuming are going to qualify
Right.
under that as the state's
Correct.
restrictions.
Yeah,
So
they will.
both of those are in. So, well, fantastic. That sounds like a pretty interesting. I'm going to have to get with you and go for a ride in one of these so we can
they're amazing.
check them out.
And we'll have Luke put a link in the show descriptions below. It'll be a link to my YouTube channel. I've got probably about a 45-minute video on there where I go with some of the Eaton engineers and Corey Snowden. We start off in Keystone. We go up over Eisenhower, back down to Highway 40, over to Winter Park, and then retrace our steps back. And I video that whole thing. And it's very good. It's very informative. I've sent it to a lot of my customers that are on the fence on that 18XD Pro. Not sure if they want to. And after they've seen the video, most of them are like, yeah, I'll try it.
Yeah.
And they love it.
It absolutely is. It sounds fantastic.
And the nicest thing about it is it's about a third the cost of an Allison.
Wow. Okay.
So it really helps keep the cost down.
Okay.
And they've gotten so good, and the electronics have gotten so good. It's an amazing transmission.
So what is the maintenance program like for longevity over time? You're going to be saving some costs on there. What about on the maintenance side?
Should be about the same as a manual transmission.
Really?
Which isn't, you're going to have to replace some clutches here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Clutch jobs, I'd have to ask Corey kind of what they're thinking on hours for a clutch job.
Okay.
But
typical, about
probably
typical,
typical, maybe a little bit more. But this thing is so good. If you just leave it alone and let it do its thing, it's going to save you some fuel too. So
wow,
it's going to help with that fuel mileage. Because no matter how good of a shifter you are, this is a better shifter.
Yeah. Okay.
So
that makes sense. A lot more efficient. So
more efficient.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. Yeah. Well, that is very, very interesting. So yeah, we'll get old Redbeard to put that link in there for
we'll throw that
Rocky
in.
Mountain Peterbilt. That's a great topic, Keith. Thanks for bringing that to our attention. Like I said, not something I know a whole lot about, but
and if you got any questions, just shoot me an email or give me a call.
Yeah. Reach out to Keith. Well, fantastic. All right. Anything else you want to throw in there about this? No, not too much.
The guys that have bought them love them.
They do. Fantastic.
And the guys that are saying that you shouldn't be doing that, so don't knock it till you try it.
No kidding.
It's a good tranny.
Good. Fantastic. So, all right. Well, fantastic, Keith. Thanks so much for the information. I appreciate it, and I'm sure our listening community will too. Check those out. Give old Keith at Rocky Mountain Peterbilts over here at Rush Peterbilt a call. I'm sure he'd love to help you out. He's got tons of beautiful trucks out there, that type of thing. But with that, thank you to our community for moving America forward. Keep her safe out there and shiny side up.
Okay. God bless you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.